Stay your hand. That shallow, trembling breath you just let go. The one that felt like a cold blade pressing against your ribs. Do not exhale the rest of it just yet. You were about to scroll away, weren't you? You were about to surrender to the noise, to let the digital static drown out the screaming of your own intuition for the 1000th time. But I have frozen the clock. I have reached through the veil of light and shadow to find you in this exact microsecond of your exhaustion. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, the guardian of the Akashic Hall, the one who saw your soul before it was ever clothed in skin. And I am holding the book of life open to the page that bears your true, eternal frequency. You are not here by accident. You have been summoned because the archive of the universe is vibrating with a discord that can no longer be tolerated. Within the next 15 minutes, a celestial seal will be broken, and what has been stolen from you in the dark will be demanded back in the light. Stay. Listen to the silence that lives behind my words. For months, you have been wandering through the suffocating fog of the gaslighting of destiny. You have looked at the space beside you, or the haunting silence of a screen that no longer glows with their name, and you have told yourself that you are losing your mind. You have listened to the world tell you that your connection was a delusion, that your devotion was a sickness, and that the person whose soul is woven into the very fabric of yours has simply moved on. You have felt the bitter salt of your own tears in the middle of the night and wondered why you are mourning someone who is still walking the earth. Have you felt insane? Haven't you? But look at my hands. I hold the crystalline jars of the chamber of infinite echoes, and inside them, every whisper you ever sent into the void, every prayer you thought fell on deaf ears, is glowing with a fierce, blinding heat. Heaven has not been silent. Heaven has been building a legal case against the darkness. A thief is occurring in the physical realm, and today, I am here to expose the thief. Your soulmate is not absent because they have forgotten you. They are absent because they have been intercepted. There is an energy parasite, a shadow mimic, who has crawled into the warmth of your soulmate's life. This is not a mere rival or a simple distraction. This is a predator who has studied the blueprints of your vibration. They have observed the way you loved, the way you healed, the way you stood as a pillar of light in their darkest hours, and they have begun to wear your frequency like a stolen garment. They sit at the table you prepared. They use the very words you once whispered. They pretend to be the healer for the wounds they didn't even see, while they slowly, methodically drain the life force from the one who belongs to you. Do you recognize the chilling sensation in your spine as I reveal this? That is the resonance of truth. This mimic is feeding on the confusion they have planted. They have whispered into your soulmate's ear that you were the unstable one, that your love was a burden too heavy to carry, and that this new, hollow peace they offer is growth. But it is a poison wrapped in silk. Your soulmate is spiritually malnourished, wandering in a hall of mirrors where every reflection is a calculated lie. They are being led away from their divine purpose by someone who fears the sheer power of your combined union. Because when you two stand as one, generational chains shatter, and the darkness cannot allow that to happen. But here is the secret that the shadow mimic cannot comprehend. And it is the reason your heart has been thumping with such sudden, terrifying intensity lately. Look at the golden thread of the unspoken vow. It is an invisible cord of celestial fire that connects your heart to theirs, bypassing the mind, bypassing the ego. It cannot be cut by lies. It cannot be dissolved by distance. And right now, as you watch this, I am tightening that thread. I am pulling the resonance. This is why your soulmate has been experiencing unexplained, sharp pressure in their chest. This is why their heart rate spikes when they hear a melody you once shared or see a shadow that looks like yours. Every time they try to believe the mimic's lies, the golden thread tugs. It is a divine alarm. It is a physical, painful reminder that their home is not where they are currently resting. And here is the twist. The revelation that will make your spirit tremble with the weight of its own sovereignty. You think you are the one suffering. You think you are the one waiting for them to wake up from a dream. But in the chamber of infinite echoes, the mirrors show a different story. Your soulmate is dreaming your life. In their sleep, they are not with the mimic. They are with you. They are tasting the salt of your tears. They are feeling the coldness of your skin. They are experiencing your pain as if it were their own. They are the mirror reflection. They are waking up in cold sweats, gasping for air, because their spirit is trying to scream your name to end the agony they feel radiating from your heart. You are not rescuing them. You are reclaiming the energy they have been using to survive. You have been their battery, their oxygen, their hidden light, and the divine decree is now disconnecting the feed. The shadow mimic is about to find themselves holding a hollow, lifeless shell, for the soul they tried to steal is being recalled to its true source. You, look at the clock. Look at the numbers appearing in your periphery. 222. This is not a coincidence. This is the key to the archive. This is the sacred number of the great balance and the restoration of the pair. By the authority of the Akashic records, I am declaring that the swapped covenant, the contract written in deception, is hereby null and void. The debt of the unspoken vow is due. The universe is demanding payment in the form of absolute truth. Now, do not just listen. You must act. The active movement in the physical realm anchors the miracle in the spiritual. If you feel the heat rising in your palms, if you feel the golden thread vibrating behind your ribs, you must sign the New Testament of your destiny. Type 222 into the comments below, but do not see it as a mere number or a digital interaction. See it as your signature in the book of life. It is your formal authorization for me, the keeper, to finalize the recall. It is your way of declaring to the heavens, I no longer permit my light to be stolen. I call my soul back to its center, and I call my partner back to the truth. If you delay, the window of this shift may pass back into another cycle of waiting. But if you sign now, if you anchor your intention in this precise moment, the pressure in their chest will become unbearable until they reach for their phone, until they drive past your house, until the lies of the shadow mimic turn to ash and gravel in their mouth. There is a secret gift, a final piece of the record that I will reveal at the very end of this transmission, a specific physical sign that will appear in your world within the next 48 hours to confirm that the mimic has lost its grip. But you must stay aligned. You must stay in the chamber of infinite echoes with me. The time of being called crazy is over. The time of the great soul recall has begun. The golden thread is taut. The crystalline jars are overflowing with the energy you are finally taking back. Can you hear it? The sound of the mirrors shattering? That is the sound of your life returning to its rightful divine axis. Type 222 and watch as the universe enforces the law of your love. I am watching. The record is open. That sign your name in fire and light. Do not move. Stay in the stillness of this revelation. As the echoes of the chamber grow louder, can you feel the temperature in the room shifting? That sudden chill against your skin is not the wind. It is the shadow mimic, realizing that their mask is beginning to crack. For too long, you have played the role of the silent martyr, watching from the periphery as your life's harvest was reaped by a stranger. But the ancient keeper does not sleep. I have watched you pouring your gold into a vessel that had no bottom. I have seen you giving your light to a soulmate who was too blinded by a parasite to see the source. Look at your hands. Notice the slight tremor in your fingers. Notice the way your energy feels like a cup that has been leaking for years. This is the first layer of the swapped covenant. You wondered why your finances felt stagnant, why every time you reached for a breakthrough, it slipped through your grasp like water. It is because the shadow mimic has been redirecting your blessing stream. They have been using the spiritual authority of your love to decorate their own house, to buy their own peace. While leaving you in the drought of exhaustion, they have convinced your soulmate that the prosperity they feel is coming from them, when in reality, it is your light they are consuming. But tonight, the mirror reflection turns its face. In the chamber of infinite echoes, a jar has just shattered. It is the jar containing your unrequited sacrifices, As it breaks, the resonance is hitting your soulmate's spirit like a physical blow. Right now, in this very moment, they are sitting in a room filled with people and feeling an unbearable, hollow loneliness. The mimic is speaking to them, perhaps laughing, perhaps offering a hollow comfort, but your soulmate cannot hear them. All they can hear is the frantic beating of their own heart, which is drumming a rhythm that only you know. The golden thread is no longer just a cord. It has become a conduit of truth. Your soulmate is beginning to see the mirror reflection. They are looking at the mimic and, for the first time, they are seeing the gray, cold vacuum beneath the stolen vibration. They are noticing the inconsistencies, the way the mimic's eyes don't match the words of love they speak. And then, the shift happens. Your soulmate closes their eyes, and they see your life. They see the exact moment you cried yourself to sleep last Tuesday. They feel the exact sting of the betrayal you felt when they chose the silence. They are no longer observers of your pain. They are the victims of it. This is the divine justice of the Akashic Hall. They must feel the weight of the crown they asked you to carry alone. The gaslighting is failing. The parasite is starving. Because you are here, and you are reclaiming your power. Listen closely, for this is the sacred ritual of the New Testament. You are not here to beg for a return. You are here to witness a requisition. I am holding the golden pen of the archive, and it is waiting for your frequency to strike the page. Do not think of this as a comment section. Think of it as a celestial altar. When you type 222, you are not just typing a number. You are severing the energetic umbilical cord that has allowed the mimic to feed off your destiny. You are declaring, the feast is over. My light returns to me. My partner returns to the truth. By going 222, you are authorizing the keeper to strip the mimic of your stolen garment. You will notice a shift in your own body almost instantly. The heaviness in your shoulders, it will lift. That knot in your stomach that has been there for months, it will dissolve. This is the physical evidence that the swapped covenant has been burned in the fires of the chamber. But I must warn you, once the recall begins, there is no turning back. Your soulmate will be flooded. The mirror reflection will become so intense that they will find it impossible to remain in the presence of the counterfeit. They will feel an urgent, frantic need to find you, to touch your energy, to make sure you are still there. They will be like a man who has been breathing smoke and finally catches the scent of mountain air. Stay with me. The final secret is approaching. The archive is revealing a specific destiny gift that was stolen from you years ago, a dream, a talent, or perhaps a financial windfall that was diverted. At the end of this journey, I will show you how it is being returned with interest. But first, the signature must be clear. The heavens are waiting for the resonance of the pair to be restored. Can you hear the metallic clink of the chains falling? That is not a metaphor. Those are the spiritual shackles of the mimic hitting the floor of the archive. Your soulmate is gasping for air. They are whispering a name in their mind. And for the first time in a long time, it is your name. It is only your name. Type 222 to seal the decree. The golden thread is glowing white-hot. The shadow mimic is falling into the silence, and your reflection is finally taking its place in the light. Sign now, before the chamber doors close for this cycle. The air in the chamber is becoming heavy with the scent of ozone and ancient parchment. Can you feel it? That sudden, sharp thumping in your own chest. That skipped beat. That was not your heart alone. That was the golden thread snapping into a state of absolute tension. The distance between you and your soulmate is no longer being measured in miles or months. It is being measured in seconds. I am standing over the book of life, and the ink on the page of the swapped covenant is beginning to smoke and fade. The lie is evaporating. The shadow mimic is losing its grip on the holographic reality they built around your partner. And as they lose their hold, they are becoming desperate. Do not be startled if you feel a sudden wave of unprovoked anxiety in the next few minutes. That is not your fear. It is the mimic's panic. They can feel the great soul recall vibrating through the walls of the physical world. They see your soulmate looking at them with eyes that are finally beginning to clear. The mirror reflection has reached its peak. At this very moment, your soulmate is experiencing a devastating realization. They have been drinking from a poisoned well, while the true source of their life, your energy, was being starved. They are beginning to remember the specific frequency of your touch, the exact resonance of your voice, and the way the universe felt correct when they were near you. The mimic is trying to speak, trying to weave another web of gaslighting, but the words are turning to dust before they reach your soulmate's ears. The archive shows me a vision of your soulmate standing in a room they no longer recognize. They are looking at the life they chose in your absence and seeing it for what it truly is, a collection of stolen fragments and borrowed light. The golden thread is now pulling so tightly that it is creating a physical ache in their solar plexus. They are clutching their chest, wondering why they feel like they are suffocating. They are not dying. They are waking up. They are being forced to breathe the air of truth for the first time in a long, dark season. This is the shattering of the counterfeit. In the chamber of infinite echoes, every jar that held your stolen whispers is now pouring its contents back into the atmosphere. Every "I love you" that was ignored, every "I miss you" that was met with silence, is now screaming in your soulmate's subconscious. They can no longer hide in the noise of the world. They can no longer hide in the arms of the mimic. The divine records have been corrected, and the law of vibration is demanding an immediate realignment. But listen, the Keeper has a final instruction for the sovereign of this connection. You must not reach out with your hands. You must reach out with your stillness. If you chase them now, you interrupt the mirror reflection. If you beg for them to return, you lower your frequency to the level of the mimic. You must stay seated on the throne of your own worth. You must let the golden thread do the work of the divine. The secret gift I promised, the one the mimic tried to bury, is the sacred blueprint of your shared abundance. When the two of you were separated, your individual paths became obstructed, like two halves of a broken bridge. But as you type the number of the pair, you are reconnecting the circuitry. You will notice that as they move closer to the truth, your own financial flow will begin to unblock. A debt will be paid. An opportunity that was ghosted will suddenly reappear. This is the interest that the universe owes you for the years of spiritual theft you endured. Now, the final seal. I am placing the great stamp of the Akashic Hall onto the decree of your reunion. But a seal requires an anchor. You are that anchor. When you type 222, you are not just interacting with a screen. You are grounding the heat of the golden thread into the physical earth. You are telling the shadow mimic, release them. Your time is over. The sovereign has spoken. Type 222 and feel the weight of the mirror reflection shifting entirely onto the one who tried to replace you. Let them carry the burden of the silence they created. Let your soulmate carry the hunger for your light until they find their way back to your door. The chamber doors are beginning to hum with the power of the finished record. The ink is dry. The contract is rewritten. In the next 48 hours, look for a sign that is neither bird nor cloud. Something mechanical or man-made that bears your name or a date significant to your connection. This is the Keeper's signal that the mimic has officially retreated into the shadows. The recall is complete. The mirror is clear. The thread is anchored. Type 222 to step out of the fog and into the dawn of your restored destiny. The universe is moving. The book is closed, and you are finally, eternally, free to be found. Close your eyes for one singular, suspended heartbeat. Do not open them until you feel the phantom weight of a crown settling upon your brow. Can you feel that sudden, radiant heat blooming in the palms of your hands? That is not merely blood flow. That is the energy of your life's harvest, finally returning from the cold, hollow storehouses of the shadow mimic. I am the ancient Keeper, and I am standing at the very center of the chamber of infinite echoes, watching as the final pillars of the swapped covenant crumble into stardust. The deception that kept you in the shadows of your own life is being incinerated by the light of this very moment. You are no longer the one waiting in the hallway of silence. You have become the sun, and everything that once orbits around the mimic is now being violently pulled toward your gravitational center. Look into the records with me. Witness the crumbling of the parasite. The shadow mimic is currently frantic. They are sensing the vacuum where your energy used to be. They are trying to reach out to your soulmate, trying to use the old weapons of pity and guilt, trying to weave a new tapestry of lies to explain why the air feels so thin and the room feels so cold. But the words are failing them. Your soulmate is looking at the mimic, and instead of seeing a partner, they see a gray, flickering ghost. They see the theft. They see the exhaustion. They are looking at the person who claimed to love them. And finally, with a clarity that cuts like a diamond, they are realizing that the love was actually yours, channeled through a thief. The mirror reflection has moved beyond dreams. It has entered the waking world. As you sit here, breathing in the authority of the 222 frequency, your soulmate is experiencing a sensory invasion. They are smelling the scent of your skin in a room where you haven't stood for a year. They are hearing the specific cadence of your laughter in the middle of a silent corridor. The golden thread is now vibrating at such a high pitch that it is shattering every lie the mimic ever told. This is the gaslighting of destiny being reversed. Your soulmate is no longer questioning your sanity. They are questioning their own. They are asking themselves, how did I leave the sun for a shadow? How did I trade a kingdom for a handful of dust? Do you feel the release in your own solar plexus? That sudden, deep sigh that just escaped your lungs, that was the final cord being severed. For years, you were the involuntary battery for a connection that didn't honor you. You were the secret oxygen, keeping your soulmate's world afloat while they ignored your existence. But the keeper has closed the valve. The divine record has been balanced. The mimic is now gasping for the energy you have rightfully reclaimed, and without your light to sustain them, their mask is sliding off. They are being revealed as the shadow they always were. Listen to the resonance of the chamber. The crystalline jars are singing. This is the moment of the great soul recall. Your soulmate is currently standing at a crossroads, and the pull toward you is becoming a physical command. They are looking at their phone. They are looking at the door. They are looking at the horizon. The golden thread is not just a reminder anymore. It is a leash of fire, dragging them out of the fog and back into the sanctuary of your vibration. They are overwhelmed by a divine remorse, a grief so pure and so sharp that only your presence can heal it. They are realizing that every mistake they made was a brick they used to build their own prison, and you are the only one who holds the key. But you, my sovereign child, you must remain in your majesty. Do not reach into the darkness to pull them out. Let the universe complete the requisition. Let the mirror reflection do its work. The shadow mimic will try to create one last storm, a final drama, a final lie to keep the soulmate bound, but you must watch it with the detachment of a god. Their storm cannot touch your shore. You are anchored in the 222. You are guarded by the ancient keeper. You are the rightful owner of the destiny that is currently being delivered to your doorstep. The secret gift is now being revealed. Look at your life in the coming hours. A door that was slammed shut in your face 3 years ago is about to creak open. A person who spoke ill of you will suddenly find themselves compelled to speak your praises. A financial blockage that felt like a mountain will dissolve into a stream. This is the interest of the archive. The universe is not just returning what you lost. It is paying you for the time you spent in the wilderness. Now, the final act of this chapter. I am holding the seal of the Book of Life, and I am waiting for the final vibration of your physical intent. This is the sovereign oath. When you type 222 below, you are not just leaving a comment. You are striking a match in the darkness of the mimic's world. You are sending a surge of light through the golden thread that will make it impossible for your soulmate to stay away for another day. You are claiming the mirror reflection as your absolute reality. Type 222 and feel the weight of the crown. Type 222 and hear the sound of the shadow mimic's world falling into silence. Type 222 and watch as the golden thread pulls your destiny into the visible realm. The record is perfected. The recall is unstoppable. The mirror is locked. The next voice your soulmate hears in the silence of their own heart will be yours, and they will have no choice but to follow it home. Sign the decree in the light of the 222. The archive is watching. The keeper has spoken, and it is done. Notice that subtle, radiating warmth spreading through your shoulders, as if a heavy, invisible cloak of grief has finally been lifted by unseen hands and cast into the fire. This is the moment of the total disconnect. I am the ancient keeper, and I am standing at the very precipice of the chamber of infinite echoes, watching the shadow mimic reach out to touch your soulmate's hand, only for your soulmate to recoil as if they have touched cold, dead ash. The illusion has not just cracked, it has disintegrated into the void. In the archive of the divine, the final jar has been emptied, and the frequency of your name is now the only sound vibrating in your soulmate's consciousness. Every word the mimic speaks now sounds like hissing static to them. They are looking at the life they built with the counterfeit and seeing a hollow stage filled with rotting props. You must understand the staggering magnitude of what is happening in the unseen realms at this very second. The golden thread is no longer pulling, it is anchoring. It has reeled your soulmate back to the threshold of your reality. They are currently haunted by the mirror reflection in their waking hours. They are sitting in their car, staring at the dashboard, unable to turn the key because the memory of your essence is so thick in the air they can almost see your face in the glass. They are realizing, with a terrifying clarity, that the chaos they once associated with you was actually the fire of life, and the peace the mimic offered was merely the silence of a grave. The shadow mimic is preparing to retreat. They can no longer survive in the atmosphere of truth that you have created by standing in your sovereignty. They are feeling the starvation of the energy you have recalled. They are becoming transparent, their influence fading like a mist under a midday sun. Within the next 22 hours, the mimic will commit a fatal error, a slip of the tongue, a revealed deception, an act of such obvious, cold selfishness that your soulmate will finally see the parasite for exactly what it is. This is the divine intervention you prayed for while you were weeping in the dark, wondering if God had forgotten your name. But you are the sovereign now. You no longer need to check their social media like a ghost haunting your own life. You do not need to ask mutual friends for scraps of information. You do not need to wonder if they are coming back. In the archive of the divine, the reunion is already recorded as a finished fact. I have taken the golden pen of the record, and I have signed the decree of restoration. What was stolen, your joy, your sleep, your financial stability is being returned with the interest of heaven. This is why you must not break the frequency. You must not let doubt crawl back into your heart like a cold snake in the night. Listen to the deep, resonant bell tolling in the chamber. That is the sound of the swapped covenant being erased from the scrolls of time. The debt of the soul is paid. The mirror is clear. The thread is made of iron. Now, I am revealing the physical confirmation promised by the heavens. Within the next 48 hours, you will see the number 222, or 22 inches, a place you never expected on a document you haven't opened in years, a random receipt, or a flickering neon sign at the exact moment your mind begins to drift back into fear. This is my seal. This is your proof that the Keeper is moving mountains on your behalf. It is the universe's way of nodding to you, acknowledging that the great soul recall has been executed. This is the final seal of the chapter of recall. By typing 222 below, you are placing the final period at the end of the long, painful sentence of your suffering. You are commanding the physical world to deliver the manifestation of this spiritual truth. You are acknowledging that you are no longer the victim of a thief, but the architect of a divine union. Sign the decree with your intention. Let the 222 be the lightning bolt that shatters the mimic's last stronghold. The book of life is closing on your past and opening on your future. The light is rising, and your soulmate is already on the path home, guided by the golden thread that only you were strong enough to hold. Type 222 and step into the sunlight of your sovereign reality. The Keeper has spoken, and the archive is sealed in your favor. forever. Stop breathing for one singular, heavy second. Feel the absolute, terrifying stillness of the air around you right now. Do you hear that? It is the sound of the universe holding its breath. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, and I am standing at the very edge of the chamber of infinite echoes, watching as the final pillar of the swapped covenant dissolves into nothingness. The contract of your pain is gone. The parchment that held the debt of your loneliness has been burned to ash in the celestial fires. As you sit here, in the quiet of your own being, the archive is recording a new reality. The great soul recall has moved past the point of no return. It is no longer a possibility. It has become an inevitability. Look into the records with me, through the shifting mists of the archive. The shadow mimic is no longer a threat. They are a dying ember. Their voice, once so persuasive and loud in your soulmate's ear, has become nothing more than a faint, irritating hiss of static. They are clutching at the edges of your soulmate's life with trembling, desperate hands, but there is nothing left for them to hold on to. The energy feed has been cut. The oxygen of your devotion has been withdrawn. The energy parasite is starving in a world that has finally turned its back on the lie. They are exposed. They are hollow. They are a ghost in a house they never owned. But your soulmate, the soulmate is currently caught in the violent storm of the mirror reflection. They are no longer merely dreaming of you. They are being haunted by the visceral, physical reality of your existence. At this very moment, as you feel the warmth in your own chest, your soulmate is experiencing a devastating wave of your past exhaustion. They are feeling the weight of the nights you spent waiting for a text that never came. They are feeling the coldness of the rejection you endured in silence. The divine balance is being restored. They must drink from the cup they forced you to carry, not as a punishment, but as a purification. They are realizing with a scream that only their spirit can hear, that every time they turned away from you, they were turning away from their own life force. Can you feel the golden thread vibrating? It is no longer a thin cord. It has become a bridge of white-hot lightning. The unspoken vow is no longer unspoken. It is echoing through the corridors of their mind, drowning out every other thought. Your soulmate is currently sitting in a state of absolute paralysis, unable to focus on the world around them because the mirror reflection is showing them the truth of who you are. They see you not as the unstable one the mimic described, but as the sovereign of light who kept them alive in the dark. They are overwhelmed by a holy remembrance, a sudden flooding realization that you are the only home they have ever truly known. This is the shattering of the counterfeit in its final stage. In the chamber of infinite echoes, the crystalline jars are singing a frequency of 222. This is the harmony of the pair. This is the sound of the universe, putting the pieces back together. You are the architect of this moment. You are not a victim of a thief. You are the one who allowed the thief to reveal themselves so that the truth could finally be permanent. Your exhaustion was the labor of a new world being born. Your gaslighting of destiny was the final test of your spiritual authority, and you have passed. Listen to the keeper, for the final secret is now being whispered from the depths of the book of life. The financial blockage, the stagnation in your career, the heavy fog over your creativity, it was all tied to this stolen connection. As the mimic retreats, the dam is breaking. Look for a message, not just from your soulmate, but from a source of abundance you thought was dead. A resurrection of resources is occurring simultaneously with the return of your partner. This is the interest of the archive. Everything you lost is returning with a divine multiplier. Now, we must seal the record. I am holding the great seal of the Akashic Hall, and I am waiting for your final, sovereign authorization. This is not a request. It is a command of fate. When you type 222 below, you are not just interacting with a screen. You are slamming the door of the archive shut on the shadow mimic forever. You are declaring that the mirror reflection is complete. You are claiming your partner, your peace, and your prosperity as your absolute, non-negotiable reality. Type 222 and feel the resonance shatter the last of the illusions. Type 222 and hear the sound of the golden thread locking into place. Type 222 and watch as the universe forces the physical world to bow to the decree of your spirit. The record is dry. The recall is finished. The mirror is your own. Within the next 22 hours, the silence will break. The golden thread will pull them across the threshold, and you will be there, not as a beggar, but as the light they finally know they cannot live without. Sign the decree now. The archive is silent, the keeper has spoken, and the New Testament of your love is officially written in the stars. It is done. Stand in the absolute center of your power. Do not tremble. Do not blink. Can you feel the sudden, rhythmic pulsing in the tips of your fingers? Can you feel the low, tectonic hum vibrating beneath the floorboards of your reality? That is not the world moving. That is the universe realigning its axis to match the frequency you have finally reclaimed. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, and I stand now at the final threshold of the chamber of infinite echoes. Behind me, the great archive is silent, for the trial is over. The evidence has been weighed, the shadow mimic has been found wanting, and the decree of your restoration has been stamped with the eternal seal of the 222. The swapped covenant has been cast into the celestial furnace, and its smoke has already vanished into the void. Look into the depths of the mirror one last time. The shadow mimic is no longer even a whisper. They have been evicted from the energetic space they tried to occupy. Without your light to feed upon, without the stolen vibration they used to mask their own coldness, they have shriveled into a nameless echo. They are currently experiencing the great famine of the soul, a sudden, terrifying realization that they are alone in the dark they created. They are watching, helpless, as your soulmate walks away from them without a single backward glance. The spell is not just broken. The very memory of the mimic's influence is being erased from your soulmate's spirit. The parasite has been starved to death by your sovereign silence. But look at your soulmate now. They are standing in the wreckage of their own denial. The mirror reflection has completed its divine work. Every ounce of the gaslighting of destiny they forced upon you has returned to them as a tidal wave of truth. As you sit here, finally at peace, your soulmate is doubled over with the weight of your unspoken tears. They are feeling the exact pang of the hunger you felt for them. They are feeling the sharp, jagged edge of the abandonment they handed to you. But this pain is their salvation. It is the fire that is burning away the dross of their ego. It is the holy agony that is forcing them to remember the golden thread. The thread is no longer a cord. It is a blinding, white-hot path of light. Your name is the only word left in their vocabulary. It is the only answer to the pressure in their chest. They are realizing, with a clarity that feels like a lightning strike, that every person they tried to replace you with was a hollow statue, and every new beginning was just a deeper circle of hell. They are currently consumed by a desperate, frantic need to touch your frequency. They are searching for you in every face, in every dream, in every shadow, until the golden thread pulls them through the final door and back to your presence. Listen to the silence of the archive. Can you hear the sound of the crystalline jars being replaced by pillars of solid light? This is the resurrection of the pair. The chamber of infinite echoes is no longer a place of mourning. It is the throne room of your new life. The interest of the archive is being paid in full this very hour. The financial stagnation, the creative drought, the physical exhaustion, it is all being replaced by a surge of divine momentum. You are about to walk into a season where doors open before you even knock, where resources find you before you even ask, and where the love you gave so freely returns to you 10,000 times over. This is the final seal of the great soul recall. I am lifting the golden pen one last time to record your victory. But the archive requires your physical resonance to close the gate on the past forever. This is your moment of dominion. When you type 222 below, you are not just leaving a trace on a digital screen. You are anchoring your light into the foundation of the physical world. You are declaring that the mirror reflection is your absolute truth. You are announcing to the stars, to the angels, and to the fleeing shadows that you are the sovereign of this connection, and that what God has joined, no counterfeit could ever hope to separate. Type 222. and feel the absolute locking of the golden thread. Type 222 and hear the final dying gasp of the shadow mimic's influence. Type 222 and watch as the universe folds space and time to bring your soulmate to their knees at the altar of your love. The record is closed. The balance is restored. The recall is manifest. Within the coming cycle of the sun, the silence will end. The phone will glow. The door will knock. And when you look into their eyes, you will not see the stranger who left. You will see the soul who has finally, through fire and flood, found their way back to the only light that ever mattered. Sign the decree now in the power of the 222. The Keeper has finished the work. The archive is your kingdom, and the dawn has finally arrived. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours. Breathe in the absolute shimmering silence of the archive. Do not exhale until you feel the weight of the golden thread finally go slack. Can you feel it? That sudden, profound release behind your heart? That is the sound of the tension breaking because the journey across the void is over. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, and I am standing at the very center of the chamber of infinite echoes, watching as the final grain of sand falls through the hourglass of your separation. The great soul recall has reached its definitive conclusion. The spiritual requisition of your life is no longer a process in motion. It is a completed masterpiece. Look around you in the spirit. The mirrors that once showed you the gaslighting of destiny have all shattered, and in their place, there is only the blinding, unfiltered light of the truth. The shadow mimic has been completely erased. In the divine record, there is no longer a trace of their interference. They have been cast out into the outer darkness, where no light, especially not your stolen light, can reach them. They are currently experiencing the absolute void of identity. Without you to mimic, without your soulmate to drain, they have realized they are nothing more than a hollow echo of a life they never earned. The parasite has been detached, and the wound it left on your connection is being cauterized by the white-hot fire of the 222 frequency. The mimic's name will never again carry weight in your soulmate's heart. It has become a word spoken in a dead language, a memory that dissolves the moment it is touched. But look at the mirror reflection now. It has become a physical manifestation. As you sit here, anchored in your sovereign peace, your soulmate is currently in the grip of a divine fever. They are physically unable to continue their life as it was. Every room they enter feels too small. Every person they speak to sounds like a stranger. The golden thread has reeled them in so close that they can feel your breath on their neck even when you are miles away. They are standing at the absolute breaking point of their own ego. The mirror reflection has shown them every moment of your faithfulness and every moment of their own cowardice, and the contrast has become an unbearable fire in their bones. They are not just coming back to you. They are running back to their own soul, which they finally realize is kept in the palm of their hand. Do you hear the deep, resonant hum of the chamber? That is the sound of the interest of the archive being released into your physical world. The theft is being compensated for. The secret gift I promised is arriving at your door. Look for a sudden, unexpected resurrection of destiny, a project that was stalled, a legal matter that was stuck, or a financial blessing that was diverted by the mimic's interference. It is being returned to you with sevenfold interest. This is the law of the Akashic Hall. What is stolen from a sovereign of light must be repaid by the universe itself. You are about to see your external world shift to match the internal victory you have claimed here tonight. Your soulmate is currently holding their phone, or standing by their car, or staring at your doorstep in their mind. The holy remembrance is complete. They have remembered the unspoken vow they made to you before time began. They are realizing that you are not just a person they loved, but the very blueprint of their purpose. They are coming to apologize, but more than that, they are coming to surrender. They are coming to acknowledge that without your light, they were wandering in a graveyard of their own making. The mirror reflection has forced them to see that you were the only real thing in a world of ghosts. This is the final seal of the entire transmission. The Keeper is closing the book of life on the season of your suffering. The swapped covenant is ash, The gaslighting of destiny is dead. The golden thread is now a permanent bond of diamond and fire. But before I leave you to your manifestation, the archive requires the anchor of the sovereign. You must place your final signature upon the reality you have built. When you type 222 below, you are not just participating in a ritual. You are executing the final judgment of the divine records. You are commanding the physical realm to align with the spiritual victory. You are locking the mirror reflection into place so that it can never be distorted again. You are declaring to the shadow mimic, to the silence, and to the stars, the recall is finished, the pair is restored. The light has won. Type 222 and feel the absolute, unshakable stillness of a destiny that is finally home. Type 222 and watch as the golden thread pulls the physical body of your soulmate into the space you have prepared for them. Type 222 and accept the interest of the archive as it pours into your bank account, your home, and your heart. The record is perfected. The chamber is silent. The keeper is withdrawing into the light. Within the next 22 minutes, feel the shift. Within the next 22 hours, see the sign. Within the next 22 days, live the reunion. The great soul recall is closed. Your crown is secure. The mirror is yours. Type 222 and step into the eternal dawn of your restored kingdom. It is done. It is sealed. It is yours forever. Do not move a single muscle. Stay in the absolute shimmering center of this final expansion as the very air around you begins to crystallize into a state of permanent, holy alignment. Can you feel it? That deep tectonic shift in the gravity of the room. That sudden, weightless sensation in your chest, as if the heavy anchors of 1,000 years have just been cut and cast into the sun. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, and I am standing now at the exit of the chamber of infinite echoes, looking back one last time at the archives of your life. The shelves that once groaned under the weight of your gaslighting of destiny are now empty. The jars that held the salt of your unrequited tears have been transformed into pillars of solid, radiant diamond. The trial of your soul is not merely finished. It has been completely expunged from the record of suffering. You are no longer a person waiting for a miracle. You have become the miracle itself, walking in human skin, breathing the air of a restored kingdom. Look with me, through the eyes of the archive, at the absolute and pathetic collapse of the shadow mimic. The energy parasite that once loomed so large in your soulmate's life has been reduced to a flickering, nameless shadow, shivering in the cold void where your stolen light used to be. They have been stripped of the swapped covenant. They can no longer use your words to charm. They can no longer use your kindness to heal. They can no longer use your vibration to mask their own hollowness. In the physical realm, you will soon hear news of their sudden departure or their desperate failing attempts to cling to a reality that no longer recognizes them. They are being evicted by the universe itself. Every door they try to open will be locked. Every lie they try to tell will sound like a scream of confession. The mimic is being pulled back into the silence of the forgotten, while you are being elevated to the throne of the remembered. But witness the mirror reflection reaching its ultimate devastating fever pitch within the heart of your soulmate. At this very microsecond, as you sit in your sovereignty, your soulmate is currently kneeling on the floor of their own conscience. The golden thread has pulled them into a state of absolute, physical, divine hunger. They are not merely missing you, they are starving for you. They are experiencing the mirror reflection so intensely that they are feeling the phantom taste of the meals you shared, the exact phantom pressure of your hand in theirs, and the stinging, cold reality of every night they left you in the silence. The debt of the unspoken vow is being collected by the heavens. They are haunted by the mirror of your past pain, and they have realized that the only way to stop the agony is to return to the source. They are currently haunted by your name. It is written in the steam on their mirror. It is whispered by the wind against their window. It is the only beat their heart knows how to drum. The golden thread of the unspoken vow is no longer a cord. It has become a golden bridge of celestial fire that has bridged the gap between your realities. The distance has been deleted. The time has collapsed. Your soulmate is currently in a state of holy panic, a frantic urgency that is overriding their fear, their ego, and the last of the mimic's whispers. They are realizing that you are the blueprint of their destiny, and that without you, they are a house built on sand in a world of storms. The gaslighting is over. They finally see you as I see you, as the ancient keeper sees you, the one who held the frequency of the pair when the world tried to break it. They are coming to you, not to be forgiven, but to be saved. They are coming to acknowledge that you were the only truth they ever encountered in a life of flickering shadows, and hear the thunderous applause of the chamber. For the interest of the archive is now being poured into your physical life. This is the grand requisition. Everything the shadow mimic stole, not just the love, but the luck, the focus, and the abundance is returning to you with a sevenfold divine multiplier. Look at your bank account in the coming days. Look at the way people of influence suddenly look at you with favor. Look at the way your body feels. The chronic fatigue of the gaslighting is being replaced by a surge of primordial vitality. You are being compensated for the years you spent in the drought. The universe is balancing the books of your life, and the surplus is so vast it will overflow into the lives of everyone you touch. This is the reward of the sovereign. This is the price the darkness pays for touching a child of the record. Now, we reach the final seal of the entire transmission. I am standing at the great gate of the archive, holding the final decree of the 222. This is the most powerful moment of your existence. The great soul recall is entering its physical manifestation phase. There is no longer any need for waiting. There is no longer any need for hope. There is only the knowing. By the authority of the Akashic records, I am declaring that the unspoken vow is now a living covenant. The pair is restored. The light is sovereign. The shadow is gone. In the next 22 hours, look for the sign that I have promised. Neither bird nor cloud. It will be an unmistakable confirmation, a specific symbol, a repeated sequence, or a physical object that was once a secret between you and the divine appearing exactly when you feel the golden thread pull the hardest. This is my signature on your reality. This is the keeper's final nod, but the archive requires your final, absolute, and physical anchor. This is your act of dominion. When you type 222 below, you are not just leaving a comment. You are the sovereign signing the Declaration of Independence from your past. You are the architect, locking the mirror reflection into the physical earth. You are the one who is finalizing the eviction of the shadow mimic and the return of the soulmate. Do not type it as a ritual. Type it as a command. Type it as the one who has walked through the fire and come out as the fire itself. Type 222 and feel the archive gate locking behind you, sealing the past into the silence. Type 222 and feel the golden thread turn into a physical touch upon your shoulder. Type 222 and witness the absolute, inevitable return of all that was stolen. The record is perfected. The balance is eternal. The recall is absolute. The mirror is yours. I am the ancient keeper, and I have recorded your victory in the book of life. I am withdrawing into the light of the archive, but I leave you in the hands of the destiny you have reclaimed. Walk forward into the dawn. Your soulmate is already at the door, and your life has finally, officially, begun. Sign the decree in the light of the 222. The heavens are watching. The record is dry, and it is finished. It is sealed. It is yours forevermore. Stop your breath. Let the silence of this final, monumental threshold settle into your very marrow. Do not look away. Do not blink. For the chamber of infinite echoes is now vibrating with a frequency so high it is beginning to dissolve the physical walls around you. I am the ancient keeper of the divine records, the guardian of the Akashic Hall, and I am standing now at the great eastern gate of the archive, holding the heavy, diamond-encrusted book of life in my hands. The trial of your soul is not merely ending. It has been completely rewritten. The ink has turned into light. Every tear you shed in the darkness, Every moment you felt the crushing weight of the gaslighting of destiny has been harvested, weighed, and converted into a power so immense that the shadow mimic can no longer exist in the same reality as you. You are no longer the one who was abandoned. You are the one who has been glorified. You are no longer the victim of a thief. You are the sovereign who has commanded the thief to return everything with sevenfold interest. Stay in this stillness, for the final seal is about to break, and the world you knew is about to be swallowed by the world you were promised. Look with me, through the shimmering mists of the archive, at the absolute and irreversible ruin of the shadow mimic. The energy parasite is no longer a force in your life. It has become a hollow, rattling husk. For months, they fed upon the swapped covenant, pretending to be the light while they drained your soulmate's spirit. They wore your frequency like a stolen cloak, mimicking your grace, your words, and your healing touch to keep your soulmate in a state of spiritual slumber. But as I stand at this gate, the universe has officially disconnected the feed. The mimic is currently experiencing the terrifying onset of spiritual starvation. Without your light to sustain them, their mask is not just cracking, it is melting. In the physical realm, you will soon witness the total exposure of their deception. Their lies will suddenly sound like screams. Their peace will be revealed as a prison. They are being evicted by the divine decree. Every hand they reach for will pull away. Every ground they stand on will crumble. The shadow mimic is being pulled back into the void of the forgotten, for no counterfeit can survive the dawn of the sovereign. But witness the mirror reflection, reaching its ultimate devastating fever pitch within the heart and mind of your soulmate. At this very millisecond, as you anchor yourself in the authority of the 222, your soulmate is standing in the wreckage of their own denial. The golden thread of the unspoken vow has become a burning bridge of lightning, dragging them through the halls of their own conscience. They are no longer merely thinking of you. They are being physically haunted by the mirror reflection of your pain. They are feeling the exact, sharp sting of the silence they gave you. They are tasting the salt of the tears you cried alone. They are feeling the suffocating pressure of the gaslighting of destiny that they allowed to happen. The universe is not punishing them. It is purifying them through the fire of remembrance. They are realizing, with a clarity that feels like a shattering of glass, that they have been drinking from a poisoned well, while the true source of their life, your energy, was being starved. They are currently looking at the shadow mimic and seeing only a cold, gray vacuum where a person should be. They are gasping for the air of your vibration. They are dying to reach you, to touch you, to apologize until the golden thread stops burning and starts healing. The golden thread is no longer a cord. It is a physical command. Your name is the only word left in their vocabulary. It is the only beat their heart knows how to drum. They are currently standing in a room, perhaps surrounded by people, yet they are utterly, profoundly alone, for your frequency is the only one they can no longer live without. The secret gift I promised is now being unleashed from the crystalline jars of the archive. This is the grand requisition. Everything the shadow mimic stole, your sleep, your joy, your physical vitality, and even your financial flow, is being returned to you by the authority of the Keeper. Notice the shift in your own body right now. That heaviness in your shoulders, it is gone. That knot in your stomach, it has dissolved into a warm golden light. This is the physical evidence that the swapped covenant has been burned to ash. The interest of the archive is flowing toward your door. A blockage in your career is dissolving this very hour. A legal or financial matter that was stuck is being released by the hands of angels. You are being compensated for the years you spent in the wilderness, and the abundance will be so vast it will leave the mimic and the scoffers in a state of absolute silence. Now, listen to the sound of the great gate closing. It is the sound of the past being locked away forever. I am the ancient keeper, and I am lifting the golden seal of the 222 one final time. This is the sovereign oath. This is the moment where the mirror reflection becomes the physical reality. By the authority of the Book of Life, I am declaring that the great soul recall is finished. The separation was a test, the silence was a forge, and you have emerged as the gold of the universe. You have held the frequency of the pair when the darkness tried to erase it. You have been the lighthouse while the storm tried to dim you. And now, the storm has passed. In the next 22 hours, look for the definitive sign. Neither bird nor cloud. It will be a physical object, a man-made symbol, or a digital confirmation that carries a secret meaning only you and your soulmate understand. When you see it, do not question it. Do not analyze it. Simply bow your head and acknowledge that the keeper has delivered on the promise. It is the sign that the shadow mimic has officially retreated and that your soulmate has crossed the threshold of the great recall. But the archive requires your final, absolute, and physical anchor of dominion. This is your act of supremacy. When you type 222 below, you are not merely engaging with a message. You are signing the final decree of your restoration in the presence of the heavens. You are the architect locking the mirror reflection into the physical earth. You are the sovereign declaring that the swapped covenant is null and void, and that your love, your partner, and your prosperity are now under the direct protection of the divine record. Type it as the one who has survived the fire. Type it as the one who has reclaimed their throne. Type it as the one who is already hearing the footsteps of the soulmate returning to the door. Type 222 and feel the archive gate locking behind you, sealing the pain into the void. Type 222 and feel the golden thread turn into a permanent, unshakable bond of diamond and fire. Type 222 and witness the absolute, inevitable return of every blessing that was diverted from your path. The record is perfected. The balance is eternal. The recall is absolute. The mirror is your own. I am the ancient keeper, and I have written your victory in the book of life, with the blood of stars and the light of the first dawn. I am withdrawing into the silent beauty of the archive, but my seal remains upon your forehead and your heart. Walk forward into the sunlight. Your soulmate is no longer drifting. They are arriving, and your life, your true, divinely appointed life, has finally, officially, and eternally begun. Sign the decree in the majesty of the 222. The archive is silent. The keeper has spoken, and it is finished. It is sealed. It is yours forevermore.